Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the King's Podcast. This is your host, Eugene, aka G Money. On today's episode, I'm back with the topics that we've been discussing in terms of politics, in terms of finances, how the country is going, and other social issues that we have dealt with in the past. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to revisit the Justice for Cwecwe case. I want us to revisit how the government is handling this case, and also talk about us as society, social media, people on TikTok, people on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, how we have been handling this thing. Ever since news broke that this thing has caught momentum, we have seen different kind of behaviors from the media, from the human beings or the individuals on the lower level on social media, on the streets also. And we have also seen the reaction from the government, how different high profile politicians have addressed these things, how they have talked about it, and definitely how they're taking steps and actions to address this case. So let's go back to the Justice for Cwecwe. This is a 7-year-old child who got raped allegedly by a suspect that we don't know at this point. People who have been named as suspects or persons of interest include the school's principal, includes the driver, the caretaker at the school, and other people that we have not informed about. But those three people are the people that have been spoken most about in terms of them being suspects and being looked into by the police. So my disappointment with this is the way that the media has been handling this thing. We have had multiple reports that were not so good. Some of us, we know we have retracted statements that we have made on podcasts because of things that we reported based on what we heard in the media. There are a lot of false reports going around. So that's what I want to talk about, because most of us are reporting on this thing as the information comes. Nobody really has the information right now. So the information that we are using to judge and to look at the case and dissect, analyze, and have our own opinions as people in the media and on social media, podcasters, multiple podcasters have spoken about this issue of the child rape and the child in the picture right now, the child in question, who is Cwecwe from the Eastern Cape, Ematatiele. So this is a case that most of us have spoken about, and the fact that there are multiple variations and versions of stories and information coming in from social media, from websites, blogs, TV, radio, multiple information is coming, which is making it a bit hard for us to know which direction to go. So what had happened is that there were reports that the principal, who was also a person of interest, was tested for DNA and so forth and so forth. But because of the fact that these reports are not reliable, there was a change in tune or change in attitude in the media and also in the public. People who use social media changed their tune. It was sort of split in half. Some people were still saying, no, we are not going to withdraw what we said about the principal. Some people were saying, you know what, keep the same energy that you've been keeping as you went hard at him. Also go hard at the fact that he has been cleared, because there were reports that he was cleared. But also we heard a week later or so, after these reports were made, that there might have been some lies or some incorrect information about whether the principal was tested or not. A lot of this is going into blaming the media and blaming the Minister of Police, National Minister of Police. So basically what I'm saying is that information that is coming in the media may be correct or may be incorrect. So we have to tread carefully as we continue to analyze and put pressure and reporting and spreading the message that the child who was raped, 7-year-old child, gets justice. The fact that we want the police to put more pressure on the investigating officers to make sure that this case gets solved and the child and their family gets justice. So the other thing that I want to talk about is us as social media, people who are podcasting, people who are just having a following and spreading the news and spreading the hashtag, spreading the message that we need to have justice for this child. What I want to say is that if you have watched Look at yourself first. If you have watched, you would have seen that the buzz has sort of watered down right now. It has mellowed down. There is no, similar buzz like there was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. The buzz that was there weeks ago, there were many protests happening, there were many rallies happening for this child, for the cause of this child, so that she can get justice. But now, if you look at what is happening right now, it looks like we have forgotten, we have moved on. We are looking at new stories now, we are listening to new things that are coming in the media. But that is the nature of human. That is the nature of us right now. As a society, globally and locally, we have a very short attention span, meaning that when things come, as the news is coming, we take the first set of news or new set of stories that come through, we put them on the side, we focus on what is happening right now. If politics is the buzzword right now, we focus on the DA, we focus on the ANC, we focus on the VAT, we focus on the national budget. Whatever is happening in the media, it looks like we are focusing mostly on that, and we are forgetting the cause of this child who has been raped, who has been assaulted, who has been traumatized. So that is what is happening right now. The way that the media is handling the story, the way that us as a people are handling the story, it looks like we are shifting now to other things. Whatever is hot right now, that's what we are focusing on. Whatever is making news and getting people views, it looks like we are focusing more on that, and we are forgetting the fact that there's a child who's traumatized. There are many news outlets wanting to report on this, so you can understand that the situation that the parents are in and the child is in, this is a situation that is not regular. It demands that we treat it with intelligence and with care, because there's a child involved. The other thing that I want to talk about now is South Africa as a whole. The fact that South Africa, in terms of rapes, in terms of cases of sexual assault, there are so many cases happening. And you would have seen that ever since there were reports that this child has been getting attention and has been raped, and people are rallying behind her mother in trying to get justice, you would have seen that multiple other cases have shown up. Multiple other cases in your area, in your district, in your city, in your township. You may have seen that people are talking about more and more cases that happened in the past, and also cases that are happening right now. Because if you didn't know, South Africa, every 12 minutes, there is a person that is getting sexually assaulted. There is a person that is getting raped, and probably 50% of those people getting raped, 50% of them are minors or children under the age of 16, 15-year-old going down all the way. People or kids are getting raped as early as when they are few days old, a month old, few months old. So this is a case or an issue that is catastrophic in South Africa. It's a major issue, and I want to express also that I have some disappointments with the government and the leadership of the country, but I'll get into that a bit later. Right now, I want to focus on the fact that if you have seen the statistics of rape cases, sexual assault cases, you would have seen that we are above 49,000, 50,000 a year cases of rape being reported, or having gone through the system of police and statistics capturing, collecting of information or data to be able to say that this is how many cases were reported. There are more than 49,000 to 50,000 cases reported every year in the past 6 years. And also, there are cases that have been highlighted, like by the likes of the DA political party in South Africa, saying that we want accountability from the government. The way that these rape cases are being handled, we have to come up with innovative ways to get results, innovative ways to make sure that whatever we are doing brings results. We catch the perpetrators, we change the attitude of men, South African societies when it comes to sexual assault. This is not something that should be taken lightly. This is something that should be given the utmost attention. I'm disappointed with South Africa when it comes to police. Police are supposed to be looking at these cases. But just a week ago, from this day right now as I'm speaking, just a week ago, there was a police conference, crime fighting conference, different divisions of police, different institutions that make sure that there is safety in the country gathered in a conference, and they were discussing how to fight crime, how to combat crime, and how to make sure that South Africa is a safer community. And I'm disappointed to say that the biggest highlight that came out of this conference was the fact that police should get cameras. Police should have body cameras, should have cameras on duty while they're doing their jobs. We're talking about millions and millions of rands or dollars that are going to be spent on cameras to equip police to do their job. As they're out and about in the streets, they should have cameras. And the point behind this is that we are focusing on making sure police are safe. We're making sure that police get promotion. Police are reviewed performance-wise. We want to see how are they performing, what challenges are they facing as they are out and about. We understand that police have been killed. This is a challenge that the cameras are addressing. This is a challenge that the cameras are going to address in terms of why police are getting killed, what happens on the field when people are shooting at police and end up killing police officers. The cameras, there is a budget dedicated, and that is going to get spent in Gauteng and other areas on police and their cameras to record whatever is happening as they're performing their duties. My disappointment with this is the fact that this conference is happening at the same time that we are talking about children in Polokwane, children in Hammanskraal, children in Gauteng, Soweto, Matatiele, justice for Cwecwe. We are talking about these things at this moment. But the police had an opportunity to have a conference. But the only highlight that I'm hearing from this conference is that we're going to get cameras so we can protect police, look at what is happening, get to promote police to higher positions. We are not talking about what to do about child rape and child cases of this nature. Adults are getting raped. Children, they are getting raped. Young children, newborns, and children under the age of 7, under the age of 15, they are getting raped. We are not strengthening the country in terms of that. And the highlight of this video, what I want to say right now is that I've been disappointed with Ramaphosa, the South African president, in terms of how he has been quiet, how he has not emphasized, how I have not seen a family meeting being called in the midst of justice for Cwecwe and other things. I want to take you back to a time when there was politics in South Africa in around May 2024 during elections, when there was campaigns for politics, campaigns for votes. You would have seen, or you would have had the highlight of the fact that the ANC had a campaign talking about Tintswalo, a 30-year-old person born in 1994, born in freedom, born and living and being raised in a country where the constitution is protecting her human rights. She's living with dignity. Take Tintswalo, for example. Tintswalo, as a 30-year-old, could have a child who is 7 years old right now. She could have a child at 20 years old, at 23 years old, 22-year-old, and have a child who is, by this time as we're speaking, this child could be 7 years old. But I'm not hearing Ramaphosa keeping the same energy, being disappointed with the fact that there is a child who is raped and we want justice, because there are many children being raped. There are many children being abducted. There is a child from where I come from in Venda called Fiona who has been taken and has not been found even now. And there are other cases in Venda where things are happening, children are getting taken and raped and killed, and they are still unsolved. These cases are still unsolved. If you look at the way Ramaphosa or our president is looking at this thing or reacting to this thing, is very passive for me. I have to say, Mr. President, I'm disappointed in you. Looking at the way that you are handling the justice for Cwecwe thing and the phenomenon that is happening in South Africa, I'm very disappointed. Many people are disappointed because nothing is being said from the highest office in the country. Many things are happening as we speak. many cases are coming up, popping up of rape, but we are not hearing from the president. We are not hearing anything being said, any reinforcements being said by the highest office in the country. That is my disappointment. The last thing that I want to say is that social media, we need to be careful. Social media, we need to keep the fire going. We need to keep this thing going, keep it moving in a way that we are not going to be disappointed with the fact that we didn't push as hard. We didn't do as much to make sure that children are safer in this country. Department of Police, Department of Safety, South African Police Services, do a bit more. Put pressure on the big bosses to do a bit more in making sure that these cases are stopped, these cases get solved. This is what I would love to hear. I would love for us as social media to not lose the fire, keep this thing going, because it sounds to me that it's been quiet recently. The fire has died down. We are talking about other things now. We are talking about Wogogos Koteni. We are talking about other people trending for other reasons other than things that matter, the safety of our children in this country. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep our children safe. Let's look at after our children, and let's look at cases that are happening where we highlight these cases of GBV, cases of rape and sexual assault. Do not keep quiet when these cases are happening. That's the last message that I have right now. I just wanted to highlight and give an update on this Justice for Cwecwe case. We have to take it more serious. We have to keep on pushing. Otherwise, our country is not going to get any peace. We are not going to get any safer. More and more cases are going to pop up, and we're not going to be happy with the way that our country is if we don't do anything about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the King's Podcast. Follow the money. Mutuka wahaya wavipi. Mutundi mutunga vatu. Ndiko libu wa support. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out.